Hey guys, how's it going? It's Miyoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How you guys doing? I wonder which way to. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's my producer here, my husband. He's like, say this, say this. So I'm gonna say it. Subscribe if you haven't to this channel and hit the like and also hit the bell. Okay, so that you will get notifications. And yeah, if you're watching this live, you can of course send me a super chat. And also, if you are watching this later, then you can use the thanks button next to like buttons and so forth. Okay, so it's actually hot. Uh, okay. Oh, thank you for your super chat. I can't make it. You're sick? Oh no. But keep fighting. Keep a get home bag ready, and remember that I don't understand that hashtag always. But thank you. I appreciate it always for support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you will get better. Hey. Didn't the whole Japanese cabinet resign? No, we had a government reshuffle. I mean, cabinet reshuffle. So some people got changed, others didn't, and stuff like that. Okay, hello. Hey, hey. Hello. Okay. So let's talk about FBI. It's interesting because we used I love to watch the American TV shows and movies, and I often hear like freeze FBI, right? And now it's gonna be like FBI, open the door, we're gonna just barge in and then steal all your things. Like FBI is making themselves look bad by this raid at Mar-a-Lago. Um, and I was watching some of the Fox News videos on YouTube, and they were the example that they used was Pakistan. Like after one leader resigns there, they get all the troubles by the political opponents and so forth. And we Japanese, like my husband and I, when we saw the news, what we thought of was actually South Korea, because in South Korea that actually happened. Happened. Like the good example, of course, is the former president Park, the female president there. After she had to quit, she was put in jail, I believe. Like she was locked up and she couldn't come out, but she recently was able to. But like in South Korea, when when the administration changes, like it's usually like from right to the left, to the right to the left. So like each time the opponents put others in jail or get them assassinated and so forth. So when I saw this similar thing happening in America, I instantly thought of like, oh, America's democracy. I mean, you don't like to say democracy, but your system is like corrupt. Like it's breaking down. And I was shocked to see that, because America is number one in the country, like power wise. America is the strongest country, the biggest country in the whole world, and its politics is this low. Like, and our, like, coming from Japan, our national security and economy, like we rely on America. And so I was like, oh, like what a world we live in, like what's happening right now. And but at the same time, I thought I saw the desperation, just like I actually saw the same thing. Like I was thinking about the same thing when I watched that. But when I checked out one of the Fox News videos, it was titled with how Democrats are desperate. like this is a desperation of them, because they can't, this is my opinion, but they can't win in elections. So they are trying their best, to destroy Trump and Trump backed candidates and so forth. Like, this is the only thing that they can do. Like, they don't know what else to do. So they only could think of, just sending the FBI to Trump's place because they don't know how to fight. Like, they don't have the material. They rather went in there to get something to attack Trump with. But yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Like, oh, I mean, I'm not even American, and I just can't believe that this just happened. Did you just shower? Yes. Obvious, right? Wet hair. I wanted to dry them, but I didn't have enough time. Yeah. Sup, Yuko in chat. So, it was nice to catch these. Thank you. This is a Q&A, so ask me anything. Am I eating my hair? Like, it's touching. Something is touching my face. That will be the IRLs. What is IRS? What? She was training with a samurai sword under the waterfall. Yeah. I'm watching, some of you may notice, or maybe you could have guessed, but I'm watching this TV show called Lucifer, like as in Lucifer. And there's this character, like she's a demon and she always has like two blades or so, and like, she's so hot, she's so cool. She's like a South African actress, but yeah. FBI has not had the most innocent track record. Yeah. I was watching Katie McFarland's appearance on the Fox News, and she was pointing out how the FBI, no, what the Democrat side is doing, against Trump is, or I mean, the media, the mainstream media, how they are writing about this FBI raid is exactly the same as how they were writing about the Russian hawks. And it's like they, she was pointing out how like they didn't even, like they were so lazy that they didn't even change their, rhetoric and so forth, or even words, and they just copy and pasted from like years ago. Oh, super chat. Thank you, Eric. Yoko, how have you been? Sorry for missing you the past few weeks. Oh, thank you. Like, that's a lot of money. Thank you so much. Now you're here. That's good. Thank you for catching this. I really appreciate it. Yep. Yep. IRS is Internal Revenue Service. It's the people who rob you for money they say you owe the government. Oh, okay. Huh. You owe you the money. Okay. America is becoming a neoliberal LGBT police state. Yeah. Edgar Hoover for some old FBI misconduct. Okay. Yeah. I think the FBI was supposed to be temporary to fight gangsters like Al Capone, but they stayed. Al Capone? Al Capone. Oh. In Chicago. Man, my husband knows a lot of things. It's so interesting. There was a movie Untouchable before. My husband says he watched the movie Untouchable 5 times at least. Interesting. I was gonna say something. I forget. What was I gonna say? I forgot. If America falls, we will all collapse to the CCP social credit communism, including here in Japan. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's so like I'm still trying to understand how leftists, like how things work in their minds or in their head. Like, let's say for example, Nancy Pelosi, I know that she has problems and you guys hate her and I get that, but when it comes to the human rights, she's very active. Like, she's been active since she actually became a politician, and right after she got elected, she was like she supported the human rights of the Chinese people in China, like those who fought against CCP back then in the Tiananmen Square. Like, there was a massacre, as you know, but she stood up for them, and since then she's been standing up for all the people affected by CCP. And of course, she probably wants to do business with China, but when it comes to the human rights, like she, wants to protect. But like, yeah, but when it comes to politics, somehow leftists don't fight CCP. I'm eating something. Yeah. Something is on my lip. It's distracting. Yeah. And yeah, so we are like, and what's ironic is that when I see the Biden administration's policies today, like Buy America and so on, or like especially the semiconductor and so forth, that like you want like they made a system to take back the production back in America. But isn't that America first? Like, and it's just they are just renaming the packages. So, oh, now I got you here. Yeah, um, it's ridiculous, man. And like the world right now, of course, there are two like huge wars happening, one in Ukraine and another in like around Taiwan. And you can tell that this is like American side, Japan included, my country included, the free countries, free, like those countries with like freedom. We are fighting against um, all these authoritarian regimes, those countries. And America right now is number one in the country, in the world, but CCP led China is really, really huge. You guys know the population of China? It's crazy. And their GDP, like their economy is huge. Their military level just got boosted because they're concentrating and also stealing all this technology. And you can't make fun of them anymore. And it's a serious threat. And they have this schedule made like concretely. And it's they really want to take over the world. Like, they're determined and they're doing things according to their plan. That's actually, I do kind of like, I am kind of impressed in a way, that they are this determined. But on the other hand, people like us, we are somewhere on our mind, I feel like we are looking down on China still. And that might be the push for us to actually lose. And I'm afraid of that. But I feel like Democrat type of people in America just don't see the big picture, that we are in this huge war, like world, like it's a world war really. And I just don't understand why they can't see that they're trapped by all this partisanship. Yeah. Anyway, this is a Q&A, so you can ask me anything. What are your favorite Japanese films, Yoko? Oh. Hmm. The anime one of Hayao Miyazaki. the witch one. The witch. I don't know if it's what it's called in English, but I I always liked the witch. I don't even know what it's called in English. With Kiki in it and a black cat. But yeah, I don't actually watch Japanese movies anymore. Oh, I did watch this funny one. Terumae Romae. I wonder what it's called. It's about the hot springs. And like this dude goes back in time in Rome, like in Italy. And yeah, it's a funny movie. Yeah. Oh, whoa, Erica, thank you. 5回 Classic Hideyoshi. Did you know that the man FDR appointed as the first director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, was widely known to be a cross-dresser drag queen? What? Truman hated player. ルーズベルトが任命した最初の FBI の、それがよく知られていましたクロスロデスだから男女の服装が混ざってる感じじゃないどっちでも。だからドラッグクイーンわかるだったって。で、トゥルーマンが嫌いだった。We didn't know. We had no idea. Interesting. Thank you for that. It's very interesting. 日本語わかるけん。Cool. How is the Japanese media reporting on the FBI raid on Trump? It's pretty just like a simple reports, Oh, the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago and they took away all these boxes. Like those, some of them were classified. End of story. Yeah. Oh, and Trump says that it's disqualified. So those are the points, and that's all they say. And it's not even a big news here, because I guess because we have our stuff going on, like our cabinet reshuffle and our new unification church problem, and also and the Taiwan situation, and so and the heavy rain. Natural disaster. And the dolphins biting on people. I know it's so stupid, I know, but like first it was like monkeys. Like I heard the news like about the monkeys here, monkey coming down from the mountains and biting on dozens of people here, actually attacking, like actually it's a raid, like going into the people's houses and even biting on the baby. But yeah, monkeys did that, and after that we are hearing the news about dolphins in the sea biting people. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so like we are busy reporting that sort of stuff, and we are not hearing much about Trump. Like again, it's all about just there was a raid and they took out boxes and they classified, disqualified. And so my point is that they're not, our media here in Japan is not saying anything about the raid being good or bad, just stating the facts that just happened, if you know what I mean. Terumae Romae. Yes. I don't know why it's called in English, but you're probably right. Yeah, I wanted to. Can my note here doesn't get refreshed somehow? Oh, here it is. So about Trump, I heard that there were like 45 boxes that the FBI took from Mar-a-Lago, but it was only 11 that were said to be classified. But according to McFarland, she was saying how, you know, Trump was the authority at the time, and like presidents can disqualify any document at any time during his what you call like his time like when they were in charge. So and the procedure is just him saying that I'm gonna disqualify these documents, and that's how it works. So yeah, so she was saying how it didn't make sense. And yeah, when it as for the as for this raid, what reminds me is Hunter Biden and Hillary Clinton. Like Hunter Biden is on another level, but Hillary Clinton also, like, she had lots of problems dealing, like, how she treated the classified information. But if the FBI didn't go into her house, right? And it's like just by that, it's you can see how unfair this is. And of course, this is the election year, so what we can tell even from Japan is that they did that to destroy Trump before the midterms. Like, it's so apparent. なんか my husband is laughing at something. Oh, this Eric, thank you again for your super chat. I really appreciate that. Because of what I mentioned in my last chat, there were hilarious memes when we found out that the FBI went through Melania's closet. Oh, I see. Because they checked in Melania's closet, so then yeah. Oh no, man, I love the American humor. Like, there's nothing like American humor in the world. Man, like, and one thing that bothers me is actually this is something that I read in the comment section of the Fox News videos, but were the FBI agents, like, do they have the security clearance that these agents went into Mar-a-Lago, looking for things inside of the former president's place? Yeah, right. And like, do they have the what's the word? Are they qualified to actually look at what's there? Like, what if there is actually like classified there were like classified level, like really important documents, but were they allowed to actually see that? Like, that's very problematic. But on the other hand, they went into the closet of Melania. Like, what are they looking for? Like, they wanted to check the brands of Melania, like, for fashion magazine, or I wonder what they're looking for. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Oh man. It's like, I can't believe that this is America, though. Like, America is like looking from another country, like, America is huge, like it's the top country in the world, and we're like, oh, America. But then like we see the FBI news doing like silly things, and we're like, oh, what's going on? Like, British humor funny. I don't know. British humor is very unique. Look up Paul Pelosi Jr. His son is also doing corrupt, disgusting stuff like Hunter Biden. Oh no. Yeah, but about Hunter Biden though, I read the news. I shared on the on Twitter, but what was the title? Representative, is it James Comer on GOP priority for House oversight. We view Hunter Biden as a national security risk. GOP Oversight Committee representative says he thinks the Justice Department will act on Hunter Biden soon as report says the federal investigation has reached a critical juncture. So it's coming. Yeah, they're gonna. I guess that they're so desperate to destroy this move. Like, yeah, they wanted to do something about Trump before they attack themselves. But yeah, konnichiwa, Yoko-san. Konnichiwa. In Japanese, actually, my name has u between yo and ko. Yo, ko. But yeah, in English, it's confusing, so I just go with Yoko. But yeah, because like American or English speaking people stress on what's the word vowel. So it's like if I put like Youko, then they're gonna go like Youko or whatever. So like naturally just put Yoko and everybody will pronounce as Yoko.
バイザーウェイ、ワイオミングがそろそろあるんじゃない？
My husband just said, by the way, isn't there Wyoming soon? What do you mean by that? Wyoming の何？
チェニ
は？
ー、チェニ
チェイニ
ー、落ちるんじゃないかなって気になってんだけどって、そういう。
ー。Oh, チェイニーmight.
チェニーがね、予備選でね、落ちるんじゃないのって。
落ちるってなんだ？
負ける。
Lose in election? Coming election? Wyoming?
Next week. Wyoming.
Wyoming. Congressman. Maybe you don't care. Yes, that's the correct, like my Japanese way of writing Yoko. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, super chat. Thank you. Again, thank you so much. Per the warrant, they had clearance to seize but not to read. I see. Someone with Q or another SAP, Special Actress Access Program, had clearance through an ARL to go through and compile the list of documents. Oh, so the seizure people and checking people were different? I don't know how it works, but interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's the reason why I said the word security clearance is because I read that on the newspaper here saying that we, like in Japan, we don't have a security clearance, like as in the system. So like it's dangerous here. Like everything is exposed. So we're finally making a system next year. So there's still time. Yeah. It's ridiculous, I know. But yeah, and I also saw the news here in the news here that there was this, it's probably a Russian woman, I don't know, but like Russian spies are there are Russian spies that want to steal information from Japanese companies, as in like industrial spies, and one was stopped before the person commit the crime. But that means is that the police, or it's not the police, the police caught the person before the person actually committed a crime. So the person isn't a criminal, right? So he or she is not arrested, and the person is just out somewhere in Japan. So we don't even have the our law to catch spies. Like we can't arrest spies here in Japan. Like I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing like this. I'm just overwhelmed by how vulnerable we are.
スパイをする
Crazy,
法
right?
律はね、
So,
必要だってことはもうね、50年も前から言ってるんだよね。
so we've been saying that for 5 decades that we need laws to catch the spies, but lawyers and everyone, they're on the left side and they're stopping us from having those laws. Yeah. Oh,
クレイジークレイジークレイジー。
Liz Cheney faces election Tuesday. Oh, in a few days. Cheney will lose election. Yes. Oh, I think he means the rhino. Okay, Liz Cheney. Cheney down 30 points last I heard. Oh.
ト
Okay.
ランプが応援してる方が勝ちそうなんだよ。
Oh, so Trump-backed candidate will win instead. That's
だ
amazing.
からこのリズ・チェイニーは
Hmm.
トランプ、国民9000本。
Oh, she's 女よね? She's attacking Trump. Ah, that makes sense. Because she's attacking Trump, my husband thinks that because of that, she's gonna lose. Primary election in Wyoming. If she loses, she cannot run as a Republican. She's going to lose. Oh, Eric, thank you. Is it okay to receive so much? Thank you so much. Wyoming primary next week. Yes, Cheney is down 30 points and will almost certainly lose. Democrats are saying they will vote for her. It's obvious. That's so interesting. But it's not enough. Microchip orders are starting to slow down. Economic ripples are annoying.
共和党の予備選なのに、
うん
民主党がみんな一生懸命
わかる。
ここになりすましてるチェイニーに勝たせようとしてるわけ。日本の新聞にも出てたよ。
By the way, of course, as you guys know, my husband doesn't read English. Like he could, but he doesn't, right? And he read in the Japanese newspaper that Democrats in the US are sneaking into the Republican Party. Like they're pretending to be Republicans and voting for
リズ・チェイニー
Liz Cheney. He knows because it's in our newspaper here. That's interesting. Microchip orders are starting to slow down. Economic ripples. Oh, economic. I get that. Yeah.
面白いね。
It's very interesting. Only Trump-backed candidates can win in Republican districts. Yeah, it's like I don't know. Like there are lots of different analysis on January 6th, right? Like on the conservative side alone, and I hear a lot of different perspectives, and so I wasn't too sure about Trump's power in on the Republican side, but I can see now how powerful he is. And I think by common sense, I think that this FBI raid actually backfires against the Democrats, you know, because people have common sense and this raid just doesn't make sense aside from like they wanted to attack Trump. So I do hear the poll being good for the Republican Party, like after the raid too. So like it's gonna work on the other way around, I think. And so yeah, it's very interesting.
もうまとまったでいいか来て。
Well, Eric, thank you. They are also donating to rhinos and bad candidates millions of dollars. American election is so interesting. Like it's yeah, it's money game.
ちなみに、
Wow, that would never happen here. So
反トランプの女神って書いてあるからね。このリズ・チェイニー。
日本語で。
新聞紹介。
So my husband just told me that there's a news article here in Japan, like in Japanese, which says Han Torampu no?
女神。
The god Liz Cheney is the goddess of anti-Trump.
アメリカでそれ覚えてるのかな。
She called us the goddess of anti-Trump. Anti-Trump. Yeah, our conservative leaning newspaper is writing so. Yeah, but that's interesting that they send money to their opponents. Wow. We are seeing lead times of 150 weeks for microchips. That's 1 to 3 years from when you place the order. What? Crazy, man. It's like, both in Japan and America, like we have the technology, but we just have the system to make, have things made in China. And so, yeah, we really need to take everything back in our countries. Man, our system is so broken though in Japan. Like we don't have systems to protect ourselves. Like we don't even have the military, and it's been what, like over like nearly 8 decades now. It's probably like 77 years since the World War II, and we're still dragging the post-war regime. Yeah. In America, though, I'm following Sarah Carter, my friend, and her reports are amazing, and she was introducing the problems of how China is buying all the lands around uh, the U.S. military base and so on, and like she was talking about far away to the Huawei, yeah, Huawei, and how they are like how it's dangerous. Like they have their tower nearby or something. Like I couldn't understand the English, but yeah. Uh, well, guys, I don't think anyone here refers to Liz Cheney as a goddess of anything, huh? Goddess of anti-Trump. She's not called that here, but it's it's a fitting title. Interesting. So I guess it's just our media here naming that. Interesting. Mm, yeah, someone was asking me about Shinzo Abe. Somewhere, any word on Shinzo Abe's killer? Nothing has changed so far. Like the man that shot Abe to death, like he's arrested, and still the police is looking into it and still trying to get a whole picture, and even the trial hasn't begun. So yeah, but yeah, it's awful. Like they're using, so Abe was shot to death, and the left side here is using that to attack our governing party, and it's like politicized. Man, violence. It's like it's the same though. Like our so assassination of Abe is basically like Abe was chosen democratically, like by election, and we supported him so much that his um he his term was the longest. Like it's been the longest in Japan, and that's how much he was supported. But it was taken away one day by violence, right? And I feel like in America, it's not like, of course, Trump is still safe, but what the FBI did is like, it's just abuse of power, just Trump was supported and he was chosen through election, and half of the population supported him, but they are abusing the power to try to destroy him, and it's not due to like the illegal activities or whatnot. Like it's not about that. They're just doing that to politically destroy him, and it's just simply abuse of power. So yeah, but yeah, but it's good though that the Republican side will win in midterms a lot. And if that happens, then Hunter Biden scandals are going to be revealed to the public, and even I, living outside of the US, will get to see what's going on. And it's probably going to expose the ties with China too. So that's important. That's good. Hmm. I wonder if my husband has any question to you guys. なんかあったら言って。The balance of power is completely gone in the US. Yeah. I wonder if people care. I was before I go to sleep, I like to watch these stand-up comedies in the US, and this comedian, I am subscribed to this channel called Dry Bar. It's so funny, Dry Bar. And this one guy was talking about how if you are a Republican in California, you should you shouldn't tell anyone about that. And that there is an app to track down Republicans. He was talking about that. It was so funny. Um, yeah, I really hope that comedy in America will survive this, even though the political correctness pressure is so strong. Like freedom of speech, it's really important. Like you know, it's our energy source. So we can't lose that. Yes, half of the population does support Trump, but the thing to remember is that it is that part of the population that is the strongest in the personal defense capabilities. Hmm? Part of the population that is the strongest in personal defense capabilities. I don't fully understand my English ability. Sorry. This raid is just another stall for Hunter Biden's case. And to add another reason for hating Trump to those that already hated him, yeah, they can then carve another narrative that Trump is worse than Biden. Yeah, I think so. I agree. It's like I wish that people would just talk about policies, like it's often said, focus on the solution, on the problems. And I mean, problems are there to solve, but like it's endless to attack each other, right? It's the same here in Japan, just so you know, but just saying. Mm. Hazardous to be Republicans, yeah. Okay. 20 minutes to go. We own the most firearms. Yeah. He's saying that population who supports Trump also has a lot of guns. Cool. But yeah. Isn't it interesting though that those who have guns and everything, those people actually obey the rules and laws. And I have the impression that people on the left side just do whatever the heck they want, against the like again against the rule, like people burning up the American flag and just being naked on the street and like it's so crazy. Mm. Karens. Yeah. Yoko, you and your husband should try watching the YouTuber It's a Gundam. He is funny and talks about a lot of problems with social media and entertainment in the US. Oh, that name sounds like me. Random. It's a Gundam. Okay. I feel like some of you recommended that before. It's a Gundam. Remember that. I'm gonna make him remember. Hmm. The problem with that though is that the other side has all the government arms. Uh, uh, hmm. Otani dominating so much. I know it's it's weird in a way. Like it's the American baseball, but it's a Japanese guy. You know, with a new record, and yeah, I'm as much as I'm proud. It's interesting. Ohayo, Yoko-san. Ohayo. It's a Gundam is great. Oh. Japan should start building Gundams to keep the sunshine safely. Maybe we should just build Gundams in the sea. um, there is actually in my prefecture. There's a new Gundam, like huge. I believe the like pictured scale, like it's the real scale, huge Gundam that's like recently built in Fukuoka prefecture, and it's actually easy access, but like the COVID-19 is still like very active here in Japan, and so like we're trying to avoid people. So we haven't seen one, but yeah, we need the ones that actually work so that I can hop on it. Huh? Yeah, when we visit the Gundam, the real figure, then I will post that picture on Twitter. Yeah. Okay. 10 minutes to go. Pigs. Yeah.
なんか知らんかったけど、ウォール・ストリート・ジャーナルとニューヨーク・ポストがトランプ再出馬することに反対したの。そのメディアがってこと？メディアなんでか。
Wall Street Journal and the New York Post opposed to Trump running again in 2024. Huh. Wonder. Those both media outlets are supposed to be like pro-Trump, but they changed. What happened? The American Congress elites are trying to subvert the election so Trump doesn't get to run. Trump is a national hero and the most popular person in America right now. Yeah. It's not only in America. Like if you look at worldwide, I mean, except for probably like Middle East or Russia or China, but Trump, like at least here in Japan, we love Trump, and like like if you just look back in Trump times, the economy was good and the world order was sustained, like maintained to a good level. Like now it's chaotic with Biden administration. Like it's the Biden administration, letting this happen, because it's such a America is such a um like a key person, like a what's the word? I wonder what to call that, but like the player, in the world game. And it's the Biden administration that is letting this happen. But on the other hand, during Trump era, everything was just good, right? And towards the end, of course, like I really, really, really feel bad that China had to spread all the virus. Like without that, Trump was doing just well. You know, if without COVID, his administration would have lasted.
じゃあ俺から聞いておいて。
My husband has a question now for you guys.
アメリカはね、
うん、
キューバのことみんな気にする。
あ
日本人ね、
うんうん
地球の反対だからあんま気にしないんだけど、
うん
やっぱそれともフロリダの人だけなのかな、それともアメリカはみんな気にするのかな。
Are Americans interested in Cuba, like politically? Because we Japanese people, we're so far away from Cuba that we don't know much about the country.
キューバの
But
歴史の話しか知らない。
You know, we only know the crisis of Cuba,
ケネディ大統領の時。
Kennedy time, but that's about it. And we're so ignorant. But American people care so much about Cuba. And is it
そういう聞いてくる。
yeah, like people ask a lot of people ask us about Cuba, but we don't know. So we're wondering like is it like only people in Florida care about that, or is it a national thing? I wonder.
わお、ビッグ。
Wow. Wow. Eric, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Democrats seem to be funding an operation to do another Pied Piper strategy, like in 2016, to get people excited about DeSantis and turn their backs on Trump. Ah, glad I could catch you tonight, but I have to work next Saturday. Take care. Oh, thank you. You gotta go. Thank you so much. So get people excited about DeSantis and turn their backs on Trump. うん。デサンタスを使ってトランプを落とすってことだよな。うん。Interesting. So, yeah, I get what you mean by that. Interesting. Do the rest of you agree with this? Like that's their strategy? But they have a funding? Interesting. Man, it's such a money game that like oh man, I have to understand the whole picture, like who's funding this and why, you know, like I need to understand more. Interesting though. It's always nice to see the bottom lines of things.
一番それイギリスやストラテジーイギリス。
It is their strategy. So it's not about DeSantis, it's about trying to destroy Trump. Control your opposition. Yeah, just like in just like with Liz Cheney. I see how like I see the dynamics now. Thank you guys for lecturing me. どう？それ自体がどこ行ったかな、なんか消えた。うん。二つ上？
いや、二つの間。
二つの間。あ、これの間。あれ、いや、そういうことを聞いたことがあるって書いてある。うん。So people agreeing with Eric. Interesting. Yeah. これね。
いやいや、その下。
その下？これか？ Democrats don't really care about winning or governing. They just want establishment Democrat or Republican or Trump cult in power because it's serving all the same donor class. Okay.
それは俺が言ってるやつ。
あ、これじゃない？
俺が、じゃあ、あなたの画面と俺の画面時間差がずれてるだけだ。
Sorry, I'm talking to my husband. Okay. Okay, let's look at Cuba thing that we asked. We used to care about Cuba, but once wars started in Middle East, the news stopped talking about Cuba. Cuba is a communist island. It has improved since Fidel Castro's passing, but they are still communist. People do want to flee and come to America, but the admin sent them away because they'd vote red. Right, because they're against communism. We don't care about Cuba. That was Cold War era. Because of communism. Thank you, by the way, Shem, always for your tweets and your interest. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Many Cubans come to the U.S. as refugees. Senator Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio are from Cuban refugees families. Yeah, yeah. You never hear about Cuba. Americans are now more interested in Venezuela and Nicaragua than Cuba, but most Americans on the right are starting to be isolationist. The only people who really care about Cuba are Cuban refugees. I see. Yeah, my friends are. Yeah, I think they have relations to Cuba. Yeah. Cuba is very weak. Americans just ignore just ignore it. Oh no, the deep state uses Cuba for Guantanamo Bay. What? One だね. Only Cubans in Florida are still concerned with Cuba. Nobody else really talks about it. Interesting. It would take decades to get on the feet. It's under the communist dictator. We have a military presence in Cuba, but it is the Cuban Americans that have the interest. What's more interesting is people from Cuba would rather come to the US. I see. The only Americans care about Cuba is a Guantanamo Bay. Mil prison is there. Because I see. Cubans are awesome. They hate communism. I know. I mean, like, man, like your own country being following communism and suffering. Like, I can't imagine, man. I love Netflix shows, like I know the problems of Netflix, but I understand that, so I'm not brainwashed. But I did dig this comedy, like sitcom style comedy show. It's Once Upon a Time or Once something. It's about Cuban family. It was sometimes political. It was interesting. Cuban government is steeped in Marxism, which makes them impossible to trust. DeSantis was promoted by Trump and he is loyal to Trump. They have a lot of the same supporters, and DeSantis would risk his reputation by running against Trump for president. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, he's younger, right? So he can still wait, I guess. And then when I watched DeSantis though on the news here, I realized that like he's so much like Trump. Like the way he talks and the way that he moves. Like I'm like, is he copying Trump or is it just how American guys like move? I don't know, but like the way that he talks, I was like, oh, that's Trump, So that was the interesting part. But yeah, in politics, it's always the loyalty is very, very important. Over here in Japan, too, like we make sure that we don't go against our mentor or supporter and so on. Any U.S. election, whoever has the most money wins. That's basically it. Democrats are spending so much government money in all these bills. They are trying to buy their way to stay in power. In Japan, there are more leftist activists than us. Like, we're on the conservative side and we're activists, but we don't get funded. But leftists, on the other hand, they're so familiar with laws and everything, because lawyers here, the majority of them are leftists, like elites. So they know all the system, and so they know how to get the government money to their activities. Like, they create an organization, they name it this way and that way, and like they use all these loopholes to get money from the government. So it's, of course, compared to America, it's nothing, but over here in Japan, it's a big deal. And so, yeah, money. Oh man, I need to make money. Trump will crush DeSantis in the primary. Yeah, I'm realizing how powerful Trump is. Seriously, and when in politics, what happens is that when you have, like, when your enemy attacks you, people just come around to support you, right? So Trump is right now attacked massively by the FBI and the Biden side, and like Trump is a victim, so we all want to protect him or support him, because it's so ridiculous. The way that the left side is attacking Trump is ridiculous, so we want to protect him. So when there's an enemy like that, we're like, like, we're gonna like it actually encourage us, right, to fight against that sort of power. So yeah, it's gonna backfire, man. um mm, mm, mm. To be honest, DeSantis will be more effective by remain Florida's governor than POTUS or VP POTUS. I see your point. Yoko-chan, the Cuban national sports team once came to play in Canada. They went straight away to the American border to live communism. Really? Wow. Oh yeah, there was one similar case here too. Like, I forget where she was from, but this professional sports player, she actually fled to Japan. Like, she went to the embassy to flee from her country. Interesting. That's why we sorry. That's why we look to YouTube and some social media, Rumble, for news and truth. Right Side Broadcasting and Newsmax are good news channels, and Sky News talks more over the truth in what's going on than US news. Sky News is, like, I think, Australian news. There's a press conference of Kamala Harris saying to Cubans, "Do not come," while thousands cross the Mexican border from South America. They vote blue. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, by the way, speaking of Kamala Harris, we are having a national, or I mean, a state funeral of Shinzo Abe soon at the end of September, which is next month. And Biden cannot make it due to his schedule. I don't know if it's true, but Biden cannot come. But on his behalf, it's said that Kamala Harris is likely to come. And if she does, it's gonna be her first time to land in Japan as the vice president. So just thought you should know that she might come here as the vice president. It's been a long time though. Like, why hasn't she? I guess Biden is active, so maybe that's why. But Nancy Pelosi just came though after Taiwan, and yeah. At least conservative people here in Japan, we know the problems of the left side in the US. So we also know the problem of Kamala Harris. One of our trusted expert on American politics, he constantly criticized like a Japanese expert on American politics. He's a professor here, but he on a daily basis, he criticizes Kamala Harris for her political correctness activities. That's all she does, he says. There should be a conservative union to move away from communists altogether. Yeah. Oh, it's been an hour. I should go, right? I would like to see President Trump choose DeSantis as his running mate. Yeah, it would be so exciting. I do want to see that, but man, I don't know the whole picture. Like what it's like what to put where and when, and you have to calculate everything. So I'm not American, so I can't really tell. But just seeing that would be so exciting. Man, American election is so like I don't know. Everything is on a huge scale. Like it's nothing like ours here in Japan. It's very, very interesting. I don't know how many times I say interesting in this live stream, but oh no, what is the kawaii teddy bear? クマって言われ
よくさ、こうやって言って、かわいいテディベア。
This is a dog. This is a dog. This is my Shiba dog. You guys know what Shiba dog is? I have a dog like this back at my parents' house, and yeah, I do have a name, but I'm too embarrassed to tell you. Yeah. Inu. Yes. Oh wow. The Inu. The Inu. Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu. Yes. Inu. Shiba Inu. Yes. Inu Shiba Inu, that is. Uh, now at least you learned a new vocabulary. Inu. Dog. When you learn English here, you have to listen to sentences like, this is a dog. This is a dog. Or this is a pen. The first sentence ever here in Japan. We learn this is a pen. And we're all like, who cannot tell it's not a pen? Like it's a pen, like we can tell, right? But always the example sentence that you learn first in Japan is this is a pen. So cool. It's a pen. And sometimes on Twitter I see tweets like just saying like, oh, finally I can use this expression. This is a pen, and there's a picture of like a crazy pen. Sometimes that happens. If you've noticed my avatar picture, I give my Pokemon Abra a Maga hat. Cool. Oh yeah, I see that. And now I introduced you to Maga Abra. Nice. Yeah. I still have Maga hat, of course. Man, I'm so excited about the midterms because I know that the Republicans will win. You know. Oh, Eric, thank you for your super chat. A girl, a girl gets into an elevator. Does she go up or does she go down? I used to tell that joke a lot to my ex, an American guy. Going down. Like every time I was in an elevator with my ex, I pressed the going down button, right? Like the first floor, and I'm like going down. I used to say that a lot. I was young. I was young. Yeah, my husband has no idea. He has no idea. I'm an innocent man. I'm crying. I'll tell you later, husband.
みんな笑ってる。
Yeah. 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 The producer in the dark. Yeah. He's an innocent guy. He's a cute guy. Mm. Anyway, there's a lot of fake news about the FBI Trump raid, so watch out. Okay, noted. In Korea, you learn I want coke. Please give me coke. Really? Interesting. That's how it was taught here too, but now they teach them to question whether they got balls or not. Why? A program called Duolingo is apparently good for teaching English to Japanese. Nice. Nice, nice. Man, I wish I knew Spanish or something. Like I do understand English at this level, and even though it's not like on a native level, yeah, I wish sometimes there was another language I could speak. Because have you seen Koreans mispronounce the word Coke? No, isn't it Coke? What? How do they mispronounce that? Like, as in cocaine, or I don't know. I also like Toyota cars, also made in Japan. Nice. Yes, we need to. Man, there's so many things that we have to do as a country. It's so. I don't know why. Oh, Eric, thank you. I gotta get into. I gotta. What? I gotta.
さっきのやつ。
Gates. What do you mean by gate?
インツはエレベーター。
Gates. That's so confusing when you write it down. Wait. Oh wait, a girl? Gates.
インツはエレベーター。
What? Do you speak any Chinese? It is hard to learn at first. Yeah, I wish I knew Chinese. Like it's the most, wanted. Like I need to learn Chinese the most. Or obviously, like it's my enemy's language. Like especially the Beijing version. Like there are many versions among the Chinese, but Beijing language is something that I need to learn. But yeah, all I know is ni hao, xie xie, and stuff.
一番下にいる人の書いて
A girl gets into elevator.
それは悪かったな。
Oh, a girl gets into a got Oh, I see, I see. Huh? Nice. A girl, a girl, a god. I see, I see. I got it. I got it. Is to go up. So adversary 敵
でもジョッキーさんが、3人が仕事をする。
The joke. Thank you for super chat. The joke is a girl sounding like I got it. She goes up, obviously. Yeah.
日本語よくわかってる。
You know Japanese, Eric? Like you speak? I wonder. That reminds me, if Japan never had lost the economic miracle, died in the 90s, they could have owned California by today's era. Politically correct would die. Yeah. Oh man. That's the thing. Like Democrats actually Democrats hate the American history or whatsoever, like Americanness, they don't like the Americanness, and they like foreign stuff, right? And of course, one of their interests is Japanese stuff. And I do see lots of Democrat type of people liking Japan and our culture. And so if we have all this conservative ideas in the stuff that we export, as in soft power, it would bring a good influence.
おそうそう。ちょっと質問していい
Mm-hmm.
まだ今
My husband has another question for you
この
guys.
間カンザスでね、
Mm.
人工妊娠中絶の住民投票があってね、プロチョイスの方が勝ったのよ。
In
カンザスってね、
うん
コンサバティブの州じゃなかったの。あれどういうこと
My husband saw the news that in Kansas recently there was the election of the citizens, and the pro-choice people won in that election. And he, with by his understanding, Kansas is a Republican state, so he's wondering why.
What happened?
What happened? He says.
あんまり保守の人は興味ないのかな
Is this something that conservative people are not very interested in, or? Yeah, abortion is allowed in Kansas. Conservative state. I have no idea how that happened. Confusing wording on the ballot. 引っ掛けみたいになってたんじゃない投票用紙が。So they tricked the people. Kansas is historically a pro-abortion state despite being a red state. Huh. They are just strange like that. 昔から中絶 pro-abortion.
そうなの。そういうなんか州の憲法がある。
So there's a state constitution.
でだけど保守の
But it's a conservative state.
だからなんかconfused です。
Yeah, it's confusing. Abortionist win in Kansas. Yeah. Bribed by them. I remember the bizarre question on the ballot. It was pure manipulation. If that's the ballot I'm thinking of. Oh, Eric, thank you for the super chat. 日本語が話せません。Huh. Took it for 4 years in high school and 3 years in college. Also honeymooned in Shinjuku, Akihabara. Cool, but I don't practice like I should. But then you understand the basic, like grammar and so forth, I suppose, and all the alphabets. It's probably at the same level as my husband's English, because he's a smart guy. He went to a good university, and he also passed lots of very difficult exams, like national ones. But yeah, and he actually I think he 何か英語でやったよね。入試か。So entrance exam of the university that he enrolled, he took in English. Like he took an English exam and got into this good university. So he understand like the basic English, like grammar and so forth, and he probably has the vocabulary, but he doesn't practice with me. I talk to him sometimes in English, and he's like this shy Japanese guy. It's interesting.
Most right-wing university in Japan. ないよ、そんなもん。
Most right-wing university in Japan.
ないない。
麗澤とかじゃないでも。
だからもうほぼない。
Yeah, we don't have that, unfortunately. Yeah. そうね、教育、The society here is left biased. So,
もう大学の
Yeah.
ロイヤーはね、最悪だ。
so university professors and lawyers here in Japan are leftists. So whoever get, any interaction with those people will most likely turn into leftists. He's got to practice with you, so keep pushing him to do it. Yeah, I think we need we need friends here locally to who we can talk to, in person. Like he is such a great communicator. So even though, for example, I understand English this much, right? But when I go see people, I can be shy, right? But he's not. And with his broken English, he talks to people. And, so, like, I know that if he just hangs out with others, I know that his English will improve. You should practice with you, Yoko-san. Your English is better than 90% of gaiji. Awesome. You know why I polished my English to this level though? Like it can be polished way better, I know, but I've never lived overseas, I've spent all my life here in Japan and I do speak American English because I love America. Like this language skill should convince you that I love America that much. Like I pretty much self-taught, and of course dating guys from America helped. But so yeah. Well, I remember reading about Mishima-san. He recruited for his Shield Society at right-wing university. Mishima Yukioの大学
三島由紀夫
うん
三島由紀夫の大学
なんだろ
三島さんの
う。
タイミングが
だから三島さんについて読みました。彼がリクルートしたシールドソサエティのために、縦の会か。縦の会のためにリクルートした。で、右の、
ライティングウィングユニバーシティスチューデントね。
he recruited right-wing students to his group, but it's not a university.
ユニバーシティスチューデント
Like it's university students, and it's not the university that is right-wing, if you know what I mean.
で、
Yeah.
大学は全部左翼だし、左翼の学生の方が多い。ライティングユニバーシティスチューデントがほんの少ししかいなかった。
Especially back in the day, there was only like really small portion of people that were right wings back then. Everyone was just leftists, and all the universities were leftists. So he was such a minority, and he recruited like right wings, like the minority. Yeah. Oh, I see super chat. Oh, what? Thank you for your super chat. I've read that people who become fully fluent in a second language often have minor identity issues and having to find their personality in their new language. Is this something you faced with English? Like after you actually learn it, I guess. Yeah. Now it's the same, like I have one identity and so on, but I did have that stage, like yeah, like I didn't know who I was. Like, which is more me, like I didn't know like Japanese Yoko and English Yoko, like I didn't know which was more me or which was like genuine to me. And I don't have the answer to that still. But I find myself soaked into American English all day long. So yeah, it's I'm proud of my Japanese side. So yeah, it's very confusing. But as for bilinguals though, I read that bilinguals have lots of merits. For example, we can multitask better because we can switch on and off between languages. So we have that system in our brain. So we're doing something and then instant like instantly we can change into another task and switch on and off just like we do with language. And so I read stuff like that, and yeah, it's
面
cool.
白い質問が
Hmm?
下
So
から
I hope I answered somehow.
下から
Sorry. Thank you for super chat.
Oh, you I had a question.
Oh, I had a
下
question.
から5つ目
Did any of your ancestors or husband ancestors fight in World War II? Yes.
いや、まず俺の方はいない。
My husband's side, no.
うん、そう年齢的にちょっとずれてんだよ、戦争に行く若い世代。
My husband's ancestor, like grandpa,
うん
was young.
戦争の時ちょうど年齢が高かった。
高かったな。My husband's side, his grandfather, for example, was a little too old to go to war, so he didn't go.
であなたの方に
But my side, my grandpa was who I've actually never met him. Like he didn't die in the World War II, but he came back. But he was in Taiwan, and then his brother was in the army to protect our emperor. And it's such an honor, and it shows that our family, like relatives and everything, like all the people that are related in our family are like we had a clearance. Security clearance, I suppose. Like we're we cleared, so he had the honor to protect our emperor here in Japan during the World War II. And yeah, yes, and he was actually it's said that he was number one kendo player in Japan, and he was actually teaching at a university too. Like he was teaching kendo, but I guess he went twice, and the second time he was I don't know, like it's not a commander, but he was in the ship, like carrying stuff, and it was near the sea of Taiwan, but unfortunately, by the attack of the Americans, his ship started to sink down, so he let all the others get off, and then he had he this it's said, so like we don't know, but we hear from the people that were with him that he like each of our ship at the time had our emperor's mark, like the flower emblem. So like he thought that he cannot just let that sink down in the sea, so he sank down with the ship. So yeah, that's our ancestor story in my family, like my father's side. So yeah, so when I was not very interested in politics, that's why you end up when you how if you grow up here. So I was not interested in politics, but when I started to pay attention to what's going on, that's something that I learned soon after from my father. So then I was so touched by that, so I wanted to go for this journey. I guess as a what's like a niece. Am I the gray niece? I don't know word, but yeah. Yeah, it's awesome, right? When your ancestors fight to protect your country, like you want to do the same. Mm. Yeah, and I feel sorry for the leftists that they're not proud of their history, of your country. Like I I just don't get it. Like people fighting to protect your country, it's just so beautiful in my opinion, and they say that it's dangerous to think that way, but I don't know. It's just love, you know. Like it's called patriotism, but overall, it's just love for your country, for your nation, and like it's like when if you have true love, like there's no conditions, and you just do whatever it takes to protect, and it's a beautiful thing to my eyes. So that's something that the strength is something that I want to have. Hmm. Is the Japanese emperor considered to be more than human, a divine of sorts? It's like our emperor is the same bloodline from the ancient times, and basically he like we have our current emperor, but he's the offspring, like a direct bloodline of our kami, our god. And so, but along the way though, it was first kami, our god, like a spiritual being, but then the emperor back in the day was god, the human flesh. So that means the end of the like the he like each one has the end of the life, so it's in a human body, if you know what I mean. だから天皇がその神聖なものなのか、なんか人間なのかっていう、うん、いやだから神様からその人間の体になってから寿命はあるよっていう話。うん、
No, sorry.
Yes. My grandfather joined the army at 14 years old in 1940 and fought against Hitler in Europe. Wow. When he was in Holland, he gave a Dutch family food who were starving. Oh, that's beautiful. Man, our grandfather generation was so strong, man. I wish that we could educate our people today. People like teenagers and like millennials, like yeah, we've gotten so weak. Oh, Sebastian, thank you. What do you think of otakus in the West obsessed with Japan? Is there a Japanese equivalent? I heard it referred to as Westabo once it contrasts to Weibo. I'm not sure if that's a real thing though. I don't know in the English term, but we often despise nerds that are like that love oversee cultures and so on. Like for example, I was dating white guys, right? Back in the day, and people would call me like gaikokujin kabure, like gaikokujin foreigner kabure is like soaked in and so on. So yeah. But otaku, if you are fascinated by foreign cultures here, you're not otaku. You're not a nerd. Because it's a cool thing, it's a fashionable thing to be fascinated by foreign cultures. From us, it's usually the West side, right, of the world that we are fascinated with. And sometimes it's Asian, but even the Asian cultures, it's so like branded as something cool and it's kind of sophisticating, so it's not a nerdy thing to be recognized as. So yeah, Yeah. But if you love foreigners or foreign cultures too much, like over your own, then people will just talk bad about you, if that makes sense. Thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate it. They have very strong souls. I decided after high school to join my grandfather's regiment in Canada, so I like to think I try to continue his footsteps. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's like when I think about history, it's about just people, right? Like your own family and the local history. It's all about the people that lived that time, and yeah, they were living their time fully. And once that you have the respect for them, you want to carry on. And yeah. What? The equivalent would be like Japanese cowboy, which I encourage Yoko to embrace with a cowboy hat. I want a cowboy hat. My husband actually has one, I think, a cowboy hat. But it's so heavy, and I don't think it's the genuine one, the actual cowboy hat. But yeah, I want that. Okay. Well, yeah, it's been an hour and a half. It's been longer recently, but I guess we gotta go. So yes, thank you guys for uh, joining us. I hope that soon. I guess that I can put my husband back into my channel. Hopefully, he's gonna practice English, and he's gonna go on camera one day, I guess. So someday, he says. Gotta encourage him. You should. You guys should follow him on Twitter and talk to him in English so that he will have to reply to you in English and you can correct his English. Or maybe you can ask, like, Japanese questions and so on. Yeah. Anyway. Huh? One more question before you go, okay? I plan to visit Japan next year. Would it be possible to meet up? I'm deeply interested in meeting and just talking with you too. We could walk around and stuff. Of course. Yeah. だから来年来るって言ってるからね。その時に会えるかと。で、話をしてみたい。歩いたりなんたりしながら。Yes. We live in Fukuoka Prefecture though. So I don't know where you'll be visiting, but I mean, but some often we are in Tokyo as well. So it depends what we will be doing next year. But yes, yeah, meetups would be fun. Noyoko say thank you guys. We gotta go. See y'all. What is his Twitter? What is his Twitter? I think it's あなたのツイッターの石井秀俊。I think it's this. I think so, but not sure.
石アンダーバー秀俊。
だよね。Yeah, that one which I just wrote down. So follow him. I gotta go sleep. Okay. Oh, you already follow him. Thank you. じゃあね、よこさん。Thank you. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. Is Japan open? Mildly. Okay. Just follow him. Thank you. Thank you guys. Always. Next week, unless around the same time, I'm random, so no. But make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so that you will get notifications when I go live and so forth. So I give your producer a good belly. belly rub like this to my husband. I will do that later. Thank you. Nate, thank you. Yeah. Come back next week. Okay, ice cream time. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, have a good night, guys. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.